At this time, I'm going to ask you to please stand if you're able. And gentlemen, remove your hats for the playing of our national anthem. Once again, it is the OCAA Men's Rugby Championship game between the Conestoga Condors and your Humber.
It is Championship Saturday. You are watching the Hawks Sports Network for this presentation of the Men's Rugby Championship for the OCAA, a battle of two West Division teams. The Conestoga Condors are visiting the Humber Hawks on their home field. Humber with the perfect season. They have not lost a game. Offensively, they were a force to be reckoned with over the course of the season. Humber scoring a league-high 289 points, allowing only 73 points against in the 5-game regular season. Conestoga Condors, a formidable opponent in their own right. The closest game Humber played all year in that undefeated season was a narrow victory over this Conestoga team. That was also at home for Humber, so we should expect to see a lot more of the same here today. My name is Matt Hamill, riding solo for the first half of the broadcast. We're here at the Brampton Rugby Club, and this is going to be a great matchup here. There's a look at some last-minute drills as the team in black, the Conestoga Condors, finish their warm-ups. On the other side, it is the Humber Hawks in their white kits for today. Also some last-minute warm-ups before we get this beautiful game underway. Humber punched their ticket to this gold medal round with a victory over the defending champions, Georgian Grizzlies. Humber winning last Saturday 34-15, so a 19-point margin of victory. Now 19, the magic number. That is also the margin that Conestoga won their semifinal game over a very tough St. Lawrence Surge. So the two top teams in the East Division knocked off. They'll be playing today in Kingston for the bronze medal, Grizzlies and Surge. Meanwhile, it's gold in a battle of the birds, and we're almost ready to get this underway. Well, we had some OCAA awards given out quite recently, and the Men's Rugby Player of the Year went to a young man playing in the bronze medal match, Riley Kirk for Georgian, the Player of the Year. And certainly both Conestoga and Humber with some honors of their own. For the Conestoga team, Daniel Rudy won the West Division Rookie of the Year. So we'll keep an eye on Rudy. He's rocking number 15 today there in the black uniforms. Meanwhile, for Humber, well, no surprise that the scoring champion is Prince Ndukwe. Prince will be rocking number 12 as per usual. The fourth-year player for Humber has been an absolute force to be reckoned with. You know, one thing we've noticed for Humber is that in this excellent season, coming into the postseason, continuing to play some of their best rugby, and have remained relatively injury-free. So it does appear a very healthy Humber squad is able to come in here and put the cherry on top of not only what they hope to be a perfect season, but also their first gold medal in quite some time. Tension in the air as both teams with that last moment huddled up here for the Conestoga Condors. Head coach Joshua Van Home. Van Home in his second year as head coach of the program. Meanwhile for Humber, Coach Fabian Rain, 10 years at the helm for the Birds, wearing white. So we'll keep an eye out for a couple of key players for Conestoga. Getting ready for battle. There we had the camera on Carson Briggs as he trots his way out to the field. There's Humber's key player right there, number 12, Prince Ndukwe. He also takes the convert kicks for Humber on a season where he's had a lot of those on account of the prolific scoring. And as you can see, it'll be Conestoga with the opening boot of the game. One of those things we've seen from Humber is quick offensive starts. They have got the scoring going early and often. Can Conestoga slow that down? They certainly had success in the earlier meeting of these two teams in the regular season. Humber won by a score of 29-24. Again, the closest margin of victory for Humber all season long. Humber allowing it to bounce, and it goes right back to Conestoga. The front line of Humber electing not to go for the ball within reach and proving to be an early game miscue. So just the start the Condors were hoping for as they get the early advantage here. Expect them to boot it in deep. And that is into the weeds. And that'll help the Condors with field position here. So line out on that far side of the field. And already with the ball well into Humber territory. Just a very fortuitous opening kick of the game. And handled there by the team in black. And a good push there. Now some good movement, and ball dropped on the ground. Is Conestoga going to give it right back to Humber? Yes, they do. Scooped up on the ground by Gabe Merjevec. And Humber now with a little charge forward, gaining a couple yards with some good hard running right there. In towards the center line of the field. Humber with some passing outside. Prince Ndukwe, nice little hurdle there. He's going to dish the ball off. Humber players getting onside. Humber looking for a little lane, and they're going to find it right here. This is fantastic work as the Hawks now dish it off. And look out, we got a man with speed working up the sideline. This might be our opening score of the game. Tamiko Smith, and he'll bring it right down Main Street, giving Prince Ndukwe a great angle for the 2 points to potentially tack on here. Opening score of the game for the Humber Hawks here in this gold medal match. Last time Humber won the gold medal was back in the 2014-2015 season, and give full credit right there. I mean, the man that got it all going for Humber, number 8, just an excellent dash up the middle. That was Seth Kirkham. And that will ring off the post. Goodness. So 2 points left off the board there for Humber on what we've seen Prince really convert all season long, especially when you get a chance to give him one kind of straight on like that. One more look here. So opening try of the game by Tamiko Smith, and yeah, just up high and hit the very upper reaches of that upright. And booted away by Conestoga. This time, Humber doing a better job to get under that kickoff. Good push up the middle there by Benjamin Anand. Good collision between players as Humber not able to gain much ground there. Now here's a little bit of a lane to work with. We'll see how Conestoga bounces back after an early game scoring play by the Hawks. That pass a little tough to handle, but good tackle to slow what could have been a dangerous offensive rush by Humber. Hawks gonna get the advantage here with a whistle from the official. So there's Prince making his way over to the ball, and he's gonna boot this away to give Humber a little better field position. And so players trotting down the field here, as now Humber has done a good job here flipping things deep into Conestoga territory. Almost stole, actually successfully stolen away by Conestoga. Physical play here as the team in black looks to break out of their own end. We'll pause in action here. Finally Conestoga able to get it away. Not much ground gained there. To the outside. Humber is still doing a good job of not allowing much forward progress. Back towards this side of the field now. Strong tackle there. That looked like it was Latumba Mpongo on the tackle there for Humber. Really fighting for yards and kicking it away deep as Conestoga sends it deep into Humber territory. Scooped up here by the young man that scored the opening try of the game, Tamiko Smith, and he'll boot it right back. And it's going to make its way out of play. Both teams getting ready to square up here. 2 40-minute halves, and we'll see if that's enough to decide who the provincial champion is. Conestoga, a good forward push here as both teams all mash together. Now finding a little bit of space. Look at Humber's defenders just absolutely swarming. Hard tackle there. Not much space to work with. Good tackling, but a good pass made to help Conestoga gain a little bit of ground. That ball looks like some Hawks trying to rip it out. Unsuccessfully so. Good charge right up the middle. Humber setting the tone with the scoring early. Big run and gain for that opening try. Not able to make good on the convert. Big gain here, slashing right up on that far sideliner. Conestoga now well onto the Humber side of the half. Another gain, looked like a little jersey pull there, but all in all, another good forward push from the Condors. Give the Condors another 5 yards or so. Tackle made. Chipping away right now are the Condors as they look to respond after Humber's opening score. Breaking through tackles. And there you have it, the opening score of the game for the Condors, knotting things up at 5, and this will give them a chance to kick a 2-point convert as well. That'll be right down Main Street. So how do you like that? The Condors certainly answering after a big start to the game for Humber. Here's a second look here. Our gold medal match sees the Condors evening things up, and that was just an absolutely beautiful run, changing the angles, and no Humber Hawk defender could quite contain the big run there. Now taking the extra point for the Condors. It's going to be Hudson Young. Hudson Young in his second year of OCAA rugby. 6'4". And he'll knock that right through. So give the Condors their first lead of the game. So Prince booting it away for Humber. And hauled in there. Catch made by Luke Murray. So ball deep in Conestoga territory right now. We just saw a great play by Conestoga, finding a gap in the Humber defense and scoring a long distance run for their opening try of the game. Conestoga heading the direction they would not like to be going right now. Whistle in favor of the Condors. And a member of the Condors taking a little long to get up there. Saw Jackson McDonald Inglis. Maybe a little banged up, but back on his feet now. And that kick right on top of the broadcast booth here, but I didn't flinch. Maybe I did, but you have no proof. Humber captured the silver medal last year, losing in the gold medal match to Georgian. So you know for these Hawks, they haven't won that gold medal since the 2014-2015 season. And that was the tail end of a 5 championships in a row. So Humber certainly not content with silver. They're hoping they can once again beat the Condors as they have earlier this season. Last time Conestoga won a medal was in the 2013 season when they took home bronze. In fact, that's the best Conestoga has ever done. So already setting a new standard in terms of their rugby program, with guaranteed at least a silver here today. But you know what an opportunity for them to not only best their previous bronze, but to come home with the first place hardware. So big motivation for both teams. Goes without saying here in a gold medal match. We talked about for Humber, though, really that perfect season on the line. And can they keep that intact and improve to what would be 7-0 over the course of the regular season and playoffs? So teams with the scrum on that far side of the field. This is kind of in front of the Humber bench. Taking their time over here, getting everything set up. This could be big for Conestoga to answer with back-to-back scores. Not that far off from the promised land, as Conestoga has put the ball in a good spot, fairly deep into Humber territory. Got about another 25, 30 yards to the try line of the Hawks. Okay, we'll get it right. Players linking back up. You see for Conestoga feeding it in, Jackson McDonald Inglis. And finally, we'll be done with that. So whistle in favor of the Condors. And they're calling in a particular player. Now we'll finally get going here as Conestoga gaining some good yardage. Both teams priding themselves on physical play. We know how close this contest was. The closest game Humber came to a loss in the regular season was against these Condors. Humber coming away with the W in a very tightly contested match on September 21st. It's almost 2 months later, and the squads meet again. Humber with the home field advantage by virtue of that undefeated regular season. So very kind of choppy pace of play right now, but it's all working out for the Condors as they continue to push the ball deeper and deeper in towards the Humber zone. And look now, they have got it certainly well deep into Humber territory. Get a good look at some of the fans on that sideline. Line out play. Earlier in the game, we saw Conestoga able to steal one away on the line out. And very sure-handed there. And bunching together to try and push it just a little bit further downfield. And these are valuable yards right now as Humber really starting to get pinned right back on their own doorstep. Good tackle made by Prince and Duquay. Getting pushed back a little here, but Conestoga looking for a gap. Nothing going there as the tackle made as Bailey Mason was trying to find some daylight. Humber really having to dig deep right now. They don't want to see Conestoga score back-to-back. You could imagine what that would do for the challenger here. And strong running right now, and Humber's tackling just not able to bring the ball carrier down. Big fella for Conestoga, get maybe another yard. Now they're gonna step back. Rudy, the rookie of the year, he's gonna be tackled by a couple Hawks. Daniel Rudy, the OCAA Rookie of the Year, playing for these Condors. Strong tackle made there, but the ball handed off, and that's going to allow Conestoga some extra yards, but the whistle is going to go in favor of the Hawks right here. How do you like that? So long stoppage in play here while we get everything sorted out. Almost at that 20-minute mark in the OCAA Men's Rugby Gold Medal match here at the Brampton Rugby Club. Great field we're working with here. Great weather as well. It is on the chillier side, 7 degrees, but no wind. Sun is shining. Great day to be out here for what these players have been looking forward to all season long. A chance to bring home gold. Locked up here. Humber still deep in their own zone. Can they flip the field a little bit? They've got possession back now. Handed to the outside. That's dropped for a moment, dropped again. And now it's going to be a little mistake from the Hawks that slows their roll down. So it was a good effort there, bringing it to the near side of the field, finding some positive yardage, but that play was chock full of ball mishandlings. You saw it hit the ground. We'll see if Conestoga can capitalize here as they get a second crack at it on this drive. We are now past that 20-minute mark. And ball fed in here. Humber getting a good push, but the ball is out. Conestoga, a lot of open space to work with. Good forward push there. Boy, all kinds of players coming together right now. Van Nielkirk had the ball for Conestoga, was able to get a good carry for them. See a member of the Hawks walking a little gingerly right now. Number 15, Ivante Cambron. So Humber now with a chance to feed this in. Humber with an early score, but have not really done all that much to follow that up with some good offensive pressure. So far, they've been weathering a bit of a Conestoga storm as it's been the Condors with a good amount of time of possession here in the first 20 minutes of the half. Good play, slashing up that far sideline. As Humber, you know, they're looking to build some offensive momentum here. Spend a lot of time more so in their defensive posture. Official blowing that play dead. And as per usual, Prince for Humber, the OCAA scoring champion, boots that one all the way out of play. So that's going to give Humber a chance here to, again, get a little bit of that offensive mojo going here. They have not spent much time other than that big run and dash for the opening score of the game with that try. Humber has not had a ton of juice in the offensive zone, so we'll see if they can correct that. See our official just making sure everything's all ironed out here before this line-out play. And again, earlier in the match, we saw Humber actually give the ball away on a line-out play. And a little more sure-handed that time. They come away with it. Physical play there. Prince with it. He sends it up high. My goodness, that was a huge tackle. And, I mean, it was kind of a little bit high and just set up very poorly for the Humber Hawk player, who was unfortunate enough to have the assignment of having to reach up for that one. And you talk about not only the player for Humber that took that blow, but just the sort of mojo for Conestoga, setting a little bit of a physical tone. That's a big defensive play, and it's going to put an end to that offensive push for Humber. Good forward movement by Humber. The official is going to give the advantage on the whistle there to the Condors. Let's take a second look at the hit of the game thus far, and it was delivered to the Hawks. It was just up high pass, my goodness. A la out of the Terry Tate playbook. And Conestoga boots this away, and that will give them a good change in field position. Great turnout here for this gold medal match, as you would expect. A lot of fans on hand here. And right now, Humber may have scored first, but Conestoga able to convert after their try, giving them the lead. But I think if you were to even reset the score right now, you would give a decisive momentum advantage to this Conestoga team here. And they've got the ball, and it's going to be a push a couple yards ahead. Almost losing the handle there. Looked like Cameron Snook, but he's able to push it forward. Another rookie on this Conestoga team. Fake pass there, and good forward push by Bailey Mason. Ball loose on the ground, but it's going to go to the Hawks. The official giving Humber the favorable call there. Good battling for it by Steven Gonano. Sun shining on a beautiful day in Brampton. Humber have called this their home field this season for most of their games. There has been the odd game sprinkled in at the Humber Valley field at the Humber North campus. But this year it's been at this wonderful playing surface, and it's been friendly to Humber. Have not lost a game on any field this year. Good push up the middle. Wow, look at that. And that's a very similar play. You know, Humber's initial scoring play, it was a great dash to gain all kinds of yards for Seth Kirkham. And Humber now another big push as Prince, tough guy to bring down, gets a few extra there. Keeping the legs pumping. Kirkham, boy, he seems like a tough guy to tackle. Conestoga giving all kinds of problems here with number 8 for Humber is pushing forward. Humber with some offensive rhythm, definitely building right now. The big man, good charge. That is Anand. Oh no, poor pass will give it away. My goodness, and it looks like an injured Humber Hawk on the play as well. Stephen Gonano is in quite a bit of pain. What an unfortunate end to that offensive drive. So not only an injury, well, obviously that's top of mind right now. Boy, that young man right there has been giving us some great play for Humber. Seth Kirkham, 5'11", and a sturdily built individual. He's actually had some great runs and created a lot of forward movement for Humber, and he was the guy that dished it off to Tamiko Smith as Humber scored their opening try of the game. And pause in the action here as the injured player we have off camera. So Gonano still down. And this is a big presence for Humber, you know, literally and figuratively. Gonano 6'8", pardon me, 6'6", still very tall. And unclear if he's gonna be making his way to the sideline. Hey, these rugby guys are built different. He's going to stay in the game. So Humber, we've seen a little bit of shaky passing has kind of bit them. And this is a Humber team that averaged over 50 points a game over the course of the regular season. Granted, they certainly did not rack up that many when they last played this Conestoga team. That was a 29-24 victory in favor of the Hawks back in September. So we'll see if Humber can scoop it back up here and continue the offensive pressure. Prince with it. Powerful running there as Humber now right on the doorstep. About 8 yards to go by the looks of it. And looking up the middle, going up high with the hurdle, driving the legs. Humber now just a yard or two away. That try line is right there. Forward push. There it is. Humber with the follow-up score there. 10-7. As the Hawks able to respond. Really just trading blows right now. Early score for Humber. Conestoga answers. Tacks on the 2-point conversion. And we'll have one more look. And this is just a credit of a very determined charge up the field. Looked like Humber might have given it away with a little bit of shaky passing, but the Hawks able to recover. And Prince with another convert kick. Upcoming. Prince, the OCAA scoring champion, wears number 12 for Humber. A fourth-year guy, scored 77 points on 7 tries and 21 converts in just 5 regular season matches.
Boys, just keep it going. Use this, man.
So the West Division All-Star about to boot this one away. And he drains it. 12-7. Humber with a 5-point lead.
Give it to him, boys. Let's go.
This is a Humber Hawk team that has had big offensive outbursts. The opening game of the season really setting the tone with an 84-0 victory. They also finished up the regular season with a 75-5 win over Sheridan. But when they played Conestoga, it was just a 5-point margin of victory, 29-24, back on the Humber's third game of the regular season. So here come the Hawks with the ball, booting this one away. That's not going to make it out of bounds, but Humber getting under it here. Hawks give themselves some improved field position. Ball on the ground, but the Condors recover. So we'll have the scrum just about 4 or 5 yards on the Humber side of the field. See if the Hawks can scoop it up and maybe get another big play. You know, I think the Hawks have give them a little bit of an edge in terms of having a lot more of those big chunk plays. You know, Humber has those great athletes they've been leaning on all season long for big offensive plays. Here come Humber. Passed off there. And that's going to be a second effort by Humber's number 15, Ivante, a first-year player. And another good gain for Humber. You feel that offensive momentum really building for the Hawks here. Another big play on that far side. Gaining all kinds of ground are the Hawks. Let's see if they can keep the rhythm going. Good tackling. Slowing the roll of the home team. Harry with a great forward push, but he might be injured. It looked like an awkward tackle. And it looks like an injured Humber Hawk down on the field. So we'll have the training staff on the way out, and unfortunately that's Humber's Harry Latumba Mpongo in some serious discomfort. And still in quite a bit of pain there on the field. So training staff is out there. After an early score for Humber, Conestoga really started to build up a lot of momentum. Humber has really started to strike back, though, and the game is tilting in their favor as they embark on what they hope is another scoring drive, but halting things for the moment is what appears to be a significant injury to one of Humber's big fellas. And it was such a solid play for Harry as well that really advanced the ball for Humber's second effort, gaining some extra yards, but the play finishing off with quite an awkward-looking tackle, just the way he was kind of tangled up with the low wrap-up. Players watering up. You see on the just a moment ago on the left side of your screen, training staff. As you can see, not a whole lot of clock left here in this first half. The injured Humber Hawk has yet to make his way back to his feet. Now we mentioned off the top of the broadcast, the Humber team in terms of injuries have done a great job avoiding injury coming into this later part of the season. Just didn't see much in the way of on-field injuries for Humber in that semifinal. Humber earning their way to the gold medal round with a 19-point victory over Georgian. And for Conestoga, a 19-point victory over St. Lawrence. So both of those top teams in the OCAA East were knocked off and are both playing for bronze with the simultaneous start time to this game out in Kingston. And the big man, after all that time and all that pain, is going to find a way to stay in the game. So Humber will still be able to count on the services of Harry, Latumba, and Pongo. Scrum here, and this is pretty deep into Conestoga territory. A scoring play here would be quite the momentum builder. You know, you talk about those scores early and late in a half and just how those can kind of dictate. And maybe a late score here to put a little punctuation mark on a half that has seen Humber with a slight advantage, up by 5 points right now. Good push as Humber's big fellas gaining some ground. Seth charging ahead. Good, but 5-yard gain. And just going to charge ahead. Gritty couple of yards earned by Humber. Another good forward movement. Good to see Latumba Mpongo still able to get some good yardage even with that injury he just sustained. It was a pass made, but maybe some room to work with if he had just ran ahead. At any rate, Humber still with it here. Conestoga looking stout as they're backed into their own try-line area. Ball security will be huge. Good charge there. One of Humber's big fellas just kind of charging right up the gut. Little stutter step there, and nothing easy coming here as Humber just getting the slightest positive yardage. This looks good as they move back to the near side of the field. Humber looking for a late half score, an injured Condor on that side of the field, and just an ill-advised pass, my goodness. And if not for a very opportune tackle by Humber, that could have been dangerous, but the Hawks take it right back, my goodness. Well, pandemonium on that far side of the field. And another drop ball by Humber, but how about the big man? He got injured earlier. He stayed in the game for Humber. Stephen Gonano able to march it up the field a little bit. Training staff looking at a member of the Condors. Play continues here. And that got a little too close to the trainers on the field, so the official is going to slow the play down. Conestoga has already secured the best finish in program history in the OCAA. They previously have only captured bronze medals in the men's rugby championship. It's been a great contest so far. Both teams landing some heavy blows. Humber struck first. It was a great 1-2 punch as we saw a great rush from Seth Kirkham. We've seen a few of those, but early in the game, he got a great gain, dished it off to Tamiko Smith. Humber scoring that opening try of the game. A good response from Conestoga, but then another scoring charge by the Hawks, again led by a big chunk play from Humber's Seth Kirkham. Can Humber find another big play here to put a little punctuation mark on what looks like a half that they could head into the break with the lead? Scrum deep in Conestoga territory. You can see not much time left in this half. Great forward push by Humber. And that is a strong run right there. All kinds of speed. Got the pass, gained the yards. Humber with the advantage on the outside, and we have another try in the books for Humber. late half, putting, again, that punctuation mark on things. 17-7 is our score for the moment. Not going to be the easiest angle on the convert kick for Ndukwe, as a member of the Hawks is getting looked at. So it was just passing to that far side, and once Humber got on the wing, there's a big collision at the end there. So the most challenging convert of the match so far for Prince Ndukwe is upcoming. So Humber's offensive leader this season, that young man right there, and didn't just lead the team in offensive production, but led the entire OCAAs. He is the provincial scoring champion. And hoping, I guess the more important thing would just be a provincial champion after today. With the Hawks, their sights set on gold in this gold medal match here on their home field. This has been a friendly field to them all season long. Hosted some great rugby matches. It's up. And it's good. How do you like that? I think that'll be our final play of the half as well. We will head in to our halftime break in this OCAA gold medal match with the Humber Hawks leading 19-7. Some great fight from both teams, but Humber able to score early and get some scoring plays late. That giving them a 12-point advantage. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back after halftime for the conclusion and the decisive half of which team in Ontario walks home with men's rugby gold. Stay with us.
Because I have to have my face super close to the monitor, and it has to be a very weird. Yeah, check if the eye is good for you. And check with the camera facing that way because the sun is not too hot.
We got 3 bars here.
We are underway here in the second half. Matt Hamill here on the broadcast alongside Will the Thrill Shukri, and right now Humber already with some good penetration into the zone here.
Yeah, it's been a good start so far. We're a couple of minutes into this second half here, and already we're kind of seeing Humber using that momentum that they gained at the end of that first half. You saw Conestoga kind of was in control through the middle of that first half, and Humber took the momentum back, and it seems like they're continuing here.
Everything we anticipated with the rematch of these two teams. The first match in the regular season, Humber won, but it was a close one. It was a great game. And, Will, you make a great point. The middle of that first half, give it to Conestoga. They scored that try, and then the 2 points after. But Humber with really the good start and the good finish, and I think that's a recipe for success as Humber looks to take home that gold here on home turf.
And, you know, everyone knows the beginning and the end of the half is the most important parts anyway.
Well, let's see if they can finish up here as Humber going to have to retreat a little further back with the Conestoga kick there. You see there? Matching scoreboards there, so we are definitely on point there with the 19-7. So Conestoga having to really work themselves out of a 12-point hole here, Will, as we begin this half. Line out handled.
And Humber's now in a comfortable position, right? This is a team that knows how to play from ahead.
Yeah,
they know how to not give up their lead, and
yep,
they're gonna try to not look back here.
And it's a Humber team that, you know, based on the kind of way they've played in this undefeated season, they have found themselves most of the time entering the second half with the lead. So they're right back in familiar territory. You know how important that would have been for Conestoga if they could have put Humber in an uncomfortable or unfamiliar position. But we'll see if the Hawks can do what they've done all season long, which is really just establish a first half lead and, you know, ride that success to the finish line. Good gain here, some passing on that outside wing. Big chunk play and a tackle made, but that is going to put the ball deep into Humber's zone. Another good push towards the try line there for the Conestoga team. In the middle and gaining some yards, just not quite able to bring him down, as that was a great effort by Cameron Snook. And some frustration for Conestoga as the official will blow that play down. Scrum on the way. Well, you know, it's that perfect season for Humber on the line, right? 5 regular season wins, got the quarterfinal bye, beat Georgian here on their home field last Saturday. And a chance to, you know, just make it that season you dream of, right? Undefeated all the way to gold, but right now it's Conestoga in their way.
And, you know, Conestoga this season, their toughest matchup as well by far. They only beat Conestoga by 5 points, whereas their margin of victory was consistently larger than that.
Yeah, talk about a Humber team that
you know,
twice scored 75 or more. Yeah, open up the season with that 84-0 win. 75-5 victory over Sheridan in that final game of the regular season. Big play here. Humber working it on the outside, and great feet there, and that is quite a way to flip the field. Kirkham marches forward for another couple yards. Right up the gut. Humber, as they struck first in the opening half, maybe aspirations to score another quick one here. Right into a wall of Conestoga defenders. Physical play here, still on his feet, is Humber's Benjamin Anand. I can.
Humber pushing their way up the field now. And it's going to be Condor's ball.
Well, good. A little bit of offensive rhythm for Humber, able to flip the field in that fashion. But, yeah, it's going to be Conestoga with the rock here. So a little pause in action. And now booted away. That's going to be in play. Humber comes down with it. Handed off, a little stiff arm, good pass, and great exhibition of running there. Prince bobbles it, tries to scoop it up. And a little bit of extra rough stuff after the whistle. Not surprised to see that kind of intensity in a gold medal match. So this wheel is going to be right in front of us here at that midfield line.
Yeah, and you know, rugby's a sport where you don't necessarily see a whole lot of action after the whistle. You know, respect is such a big piece of this game. Respect for your opponents, respect for the officials, and respect for the rules. But obviously, this is the biggest game of the season. If something's going to happen after the whistle, it's probably going to be in a game like today's.
Well, there you see, Will, still obviously in some discomfort there is Humber's number 2, Harry Lutumba Mpongo. Actually scratched that. That was actually Benjamin Anand, who's still grabbing at that ankle. You know, Will, I've heard before, in a sport as physical as rugby, there's almost no need for the after the play shenanigans, because you're already getting out all that aggression legally in between plays. So we'll see how this shakes out. Scrum basically right on the midfield line. Now we're engaged here and the ball's in. And Humber with the push, but the official is going to blow it down. Getting ready to link back up here as we're going to do this one over. Condors find themselves in a hole. We're approaching the 10-minute mark here in the second half.
And like we said, this is a position that Humber is very comfortable being in. They're up by 2 scores here. 2 possessions, if you will.
But we know how quickly a 2-score lead could flip. So let's see if Humber can maybe get an advantage here with another little extra insurance tally. Or can Conestoga? You know, you really get the impression, Will, the next score in this game could be monumental in terms of who walks home with gold. But, you know, Humber could really maybe start to sweat a little bit if Conestoga could get a quick score here in this second half. As that is kicked into the sideline.
Yeah, and Conestoga knows that they're 7 points from really being in this game, right? The way it's looking right now, nobody could guess who's going to score the next try, right? Both of these teams are putting together pretty good offensive rushes. And if you're Humber, you just have to be focused on stopping the push and turning the ball the other way.
Line out here and lots of fans making noise. Handled by the Condors. Right into the middle of the field now. Good plays here, some hard running. And a quick pass, a little extra, couple of yards gained. Huge, huge play here. Can Humber stand strong, or can Conestoga get a very, you can call it essential try here? Making the tackle. Conestoga losing a couple yards on that play.
And this is one of the places where Humber is at their best, right? The difference between Humber and a lot of the teams they've faced is the ability to get backed up all the way to their line and not give up the try. Being able to push forward again, forcing the turnover. These are things that Humber is better at than the rest of the OCAA, and they've shown that.
So, scrum upcoming here. Conestoga well poised to strike first here in the second half.
Yeah, Conestoga's got the momentum right now. This pitch has been tilted for the last 5 or 6 minutes, with Humber unable to get past that midfield line.
Well, they had that play where they got fairly deep into the Conestoga side of half, but just weren't able to strike. So much like the first half, Humber had that early advantage, but Humber this time around not able to capitalize that into a scoring play.
Looks like they're going to force that turnover, though, deep in their own zone and regain possession, maybe stopping that dangerous Conestoga run.
Yeah, and that was an important offensive chance for Conestoga, but still a lot of clock to work with. So see if they can flip the field a little bit here. OCAA Men's Rugby Gold Medal Match. That's what you're watching right here on the Hawks Sports Network. Out in Kingston, the St. Lawrence Surge are hosting the Georgian Grizzlies for the bronze medal contest. That, just like this match, also started at 1 p.m. Ball up high and taken away by Conestoga. Good tackle there, nothing going, but still driving the legs. Boy, how about that? No quit. As Calm Cronin able to gain a couple extra, and now another good dash up the middle. Humber able to take it. And how's that for another defensive play by Humber? Will, what's that saying? Offense wins games and defense wins championships. And for Humber, the most prolific offense in the OCAA this season. And let's see if the defense is the side of the game that can maybe seal the deal, as Humber entered this championship half with a 12-point lead. And they continue to sit with just that.
And proficient offense might even be a bit of an understatement.
Not quite,
there.
Yeah, selling it all the way.
Humber scored 100 more points than the second best offense in the OCAA this season.
Yeah, for Humber, 289 points in the course of a 5-game regular season. And 179 for St. Lawrence was the next best offense over the course of those 5 regular season games.
So my math might have been a little off, but
I think you're at least 100, partner, so strong tackle there. Ball's up, whistle blown. Slowing things down here. Just a great turnout. You see fans spilling over into that back of the tri-zone. So just a great turnout here with gold OCAA hardware on the line. Great shot there of the crowd. Shout out to all of our Members of the HSN broadcast crew working the ones and twos on the cameras. How about this gritty play right here? Humber with it on the ground. Tackle made, but a good second effort as the ball pops out and Conestoga comes away with it.
And that's what Humber needs to be careful of, those unforced errors, right?
Yeah, some ball handling miscues for Humber were present in that first half, but still played well enough to outscore their opponent by 2 tries.
And you know, Matt, before I joined you on this broadcast, I was sitting in the fan section down on those metal bleachers that we just saw. And we got to hear a couple of conversations amongst the team talking about just that. Those unforced errors, those penalties that they don't need to take that might end up costing them points that they don't want to give up.
Well, we see Humber, you know, sometimes they really like to work that ball with some stretch passes to the outside, and oftentimes, you know, that is the key for Humber unlocking a big 40-yard run. And it's also at times, though, been some tough-to-handle passes that get put on the turf and can flip possession from time to time.
Well, you know, it's those high-risk, high-reward plays that Humber certainly has the skill and talent to put together. But inherently, high risk, high reward. When it doesn't work, it might just end up in your own zone.
Talked about Humber being the most prolific offense in the OCAA this year for men's rugby. And that impressive amount of scoring, you know, 289 points over 5 games. That's an average of 57.8 points per game. And
that's a ridiculous number.
No surprise there. They were able to parlay that into a 5-0 record. And Humber charging down the sideline will not be brought down. And a high tackle at the end, but all works out to a Humber Hawks scoring play as the first score of the second half, and a little bit of, let's call them, unpleasantries being exchanged in the Conestoga tri-zone.
Yeah, the Hawks certainly didn't like that high late tackle in the tri-zone.
And I think it was Humber's number 15, Ivante Cambron, with the score. Another look here as he hands the ball off to Prince Ndukwe. We'll run it back far side. And Will just able with that extra pass to find all kinds of space. And then here's a look at that. We can't, not sure we've got a fan well positioned directly in front of the camera. Here's another look. Let's see if we get not only a better look at the end of this play, but the tackle that also drew a little bit of a crowd at the end here.
Yeah, you can see the unbelievable speed from Cambron there.
A first-year player for Humber. And the Hawks off camera, they are waving to their fans in the stands and pumping them up. And you hear the noise being made by the Hawks faithful as they are now in an even better position. So the officials, not sure if maybe getting together to discuss the end of that play. It looks like there will be a discussion between one of the officials.
You know, I think what the officials are really trying to get through these players is not to let the emotion of this game take over, right?
Yellow card issued there. You see the official, and not going to agree with the call, but
wow. And you know, that's setting the tone is what that's doing, right? And saying that behavior like this will not be acceptable, no matter whether it results in injury or not, or if it looks to be with intent to injure. The officials aren't going to let this game get out of control.
And Hudson Young will head off to the sideline. And so Prince Ndukwe with a chance to make it a 19-point game if he can knock this one through. (24-7). And Prince with a shot right down the alley.
And this is a very comfortable position for him.
Drills it through. And Humber with a familiar 19-point lead. And Will, we are now at what you could say is the fourth quarter of this game as we're just past that 61-minute mark. And Conestoga now, I mean, you talk about coming into this half, how bad they needed to set the tone, but it was Humber able to strike first. So as I mentioned, a 19-point deficit for this Condors team on the road here in this gold medal match to come back from. So it's going to be a lot of pressure on the team in black to answer and get some points on the board. This is a missed kick, did not go the required yardage.
And that's a huge mistake for the Condors, just giving away possession. Less than 20 minutes left to play in this gold medal match, down by 19. And it's a mistake that you wonder if they can afford to make.
So going to elect for the scrum here. Exactly on that midfield line. Looks like that's Morden feeding it in for Humber. Played back and looking for a lane. A little low roller on the field. And that is scooped up. Oh, goodness. He actually almost picked it up. Wow, that was nearly a perfectly executed play up the sideline. What maybe could have been the little bit of a dagger late in the game. As Humber close to scoring another quick one there. Looked like if he was able to scoop it up there, Will, here's a second look that I don't know if anybody would have been able to catch him using the foot speed. And yeah, just so tough when you're going full clip like that to bring the ball in. Not an easy assignment, but at any rate, Conestoga finds themselves deep in their zone. And with Humber up by 3 scores, you know, at this point in the game, you got to imagine they're not going to be mad if they're able to just kill some clock, keep Conestoga fairly deep in their own end. Good passing to the outside. Conestoga fans wanted a high tackle. Didn't necessarily help his cause as Cambron looked a little guilty coming up with the hands in the air like, hey,
He was certainly not the picture of innocence. I think a lot of the time, you know, when an athlete knows that they make a penalty, that might have been one of those moments.
Great catch there by Tamiko. And he'll boot it right back down. A little bobble there as the kick is kind of handled off the face. Back and forth. Field position is paramount right now. Ball handling violation again. Humber just continues to struggle a little bit, just handling some of these passes. And again, that was kind of more of a routine situation there. Wasn't many Conestoga Condors in the area applying pressure, but just another drop pass.
Well, that's what rushing it looks like, right, Matt? That's getting excited right there. There's less than 15 minutes or so left in this gold medal match. And routine plays don't feel routine in moments like this, right?
Great atmosphere here at the Brampton Rugby Club.
Yeah, I would hazard a guess that this is the largest crowd that Brampton Rugby Club has seen so far this year.
Yeah, it's been a great, friendly home pitch for Humber. Oh, coming in with all kinds of mean intentions with that tackle, but that's going to allow a big gain for the Condors. Daniel Rudy, that rookie of the year, a good charge there on that last play. Humber, you can tell, trying to strip the ball, but hanging on to it is the away team. Pushing up the middle is Proraki. Tackle there.
Yeah, and this is where Humber just needs to stay strong. They can afford one score here. It's the time that they're really battling against here.
And that will pin the ball even deeper with the line out upcoming. You know, Will, you mentioned Humber up by 3 scores, so Conestoga can punch one in. Certainly Humber's still in a good position, but boy, how big would it be if Humber's defense could come up with another stop here deep in their own zone. You know, thus far, Conestoga 66.5 minutes into the gold medal match, 1 try. And you know, give credit to Humber's defense. That's certainly a recipe for success if you can keep your opponent at just 7 points this deep in the game.
I mean, this was the second best defense in the OCAA this year. Only St. Lawrence was better.
Yeah, Humber's defense allowing 73 points, and that was bested only by St. Lawrence. So those are the only 2 teams in the OCAA who allowed double-digit defensive totals. Every other team allowed at least 100 points over the 5-game regular season. Gritty play right up the gut, and Humber with the rock. That is huge, Will, as the ball changes possession.
And you wonder what that defensive...
Wow, another huge tackle, and we've seen a few of those. The Condors have really had that edge. They have really delivered some massive blows, and that's going to be a painful one there as Declan Forgy taking a little longer to get up. But, you know, we'll give credit to players on both teams, but especially Humber has eaten some very big tackles, and we haven't seen a single one of these players check out of the game. Let's take another look. That's Humber's number 21, and Dylan got picked up. That's just some textbook action right there.
Yeah, and with a hit like that, you don't want to get up for a while, I'll be honest. The vision goes a little fuzzy. You might lose your breath for a minute.
Knocked out of you, where the oxygen does not seem to want to flow into the lungs for a frightening couple of seconds. Scooped up by Humber, huge. A little up high with that pass. Prince slicing and dicing. Boy, this is a tough man to bring down. Beautiful move. Gold medal effort right here by Prince and Dukeway, the OCAA scoring champion, with a massive championship effort on that play. And Will Shukri, my broadcast partner, cannot overstate just how big of a play that was at this stage of the game.
Unbelievable. Straight through the middle of the pitch. Bodies flying everywhere. He broke at least 4 or 5 tackles on the way to the try zone. And it was a solo effort from the player who has been the Hawks leader all season long. Like you said, the best scoring player in the OCAA. And when push came to shove.
Let's check it out, Will. The baddest man in the OCAA. And here's the lead up. So he's got the rock, and he did not need any support here. Once he got going, it was his moves and then a little bit of Cadillacing on his way to the try zone. Gotta love it.
Well-deserved Cadillacing, if we to put it clear.
Yeah, you know, most people call it maybe a little early showboating there. I heard Deion Sanders one time call it Cadillacing. And boom, this is going to set Prince up pretty nicely as well. If he maybe needs to catch his breath a little bit, as you could imagine, He usually takes his time with these convert kicks.
He's
And
not a
this
man who likes to be rushed.
There you have it. Another try and 2 extra. 33-7, a 24-point lead. Nope, that math is shaky. It's a 26-point lead.
So we're not mathematicians, we're broadcasters.
I always fancied myself good at math, but when I get into the rugby field, it all goes away.
It's something about this sunshine, I think.
Yeah, I appreciate the assistance with the excuse. I'll just have to take that, but at any rate, you know, that is quite a lead for Humber, a 4-score lead, and for Conestoga, this is another kick that might not go the required 10, and yeah.
Wow.
So for a Conestoga team who only has managed 1 score, it's going to be a Herculean effort to come back here with less than 10 minutes to go. As this Humber team is aiming to recapture provincial gold. It has been a hot minute since they've been able to put that in the trophy case. The last gold medal for Humber was the tail end of 4 consecutive provincial championships from the 2011 season to 2014. Humber winning 4 consecutive golds, and last year settling for silver, their first medal in a long gap and a whole program hiatus. And here we go. Hawks back with it. And good charge up the field. Here's Prince back with it. Prince dishing it off, and Humber able to squeeze an extra yard out of it. Good dash up the middle. Rough stuff going on here as we're getting into the last few minutes of this game.
And this is exactly what Humber wants to try and do. Possession is going to switch here, but they want to grind things out. They don't need to score 4 more tries here.
So Conestoga getting the call with the whistle. And handled by Humber. Right up that sideline, and that play. Okay, we have this right in front of us now. Will setting up here for the line out. Conestoga's Tarek Pacha will have the ball here and send it in. And handled by the Birds as Conestoga charge up. Played back here, passes high but handled. And that's going to allow Conestoga a nice gain here. Tackle finally made. Strong tackle going low, and that'll slow the roll of the Condors. Fake pass and marching ahead. And Conestoga needs to score, and they need to do it quickly. So for Humber to be able to plug things up and slow things down plays very well into Humber's gold medal hopes. And how about that? Humber's defense continuing to stand strong. Kick towards the sideline. That'll make its way out. Well, Will, it's been a second half that has seen Conestoga shut out. It's been 2 scores for Humber, adding on to already a 12-point lead. And almost there, the Condors able to respond, but Humber making a huge play. And that play's blown down as Conestoga kicking the ball away, and you got to think letting the clock kind of tick away. These are precious seconds right now, but
yeah, you're maybe not seeing the sense of urgency that you would expect to late in this game, but
yeah, well, Humber has just created that separation, right? And
context always important, right?
And that is right over here, that kick close to our broadcast booth.
You almost got to make a play. Every commentator's dream, trying to live vicariously through those on the pitch.
Booth catch. Well, it's been a great match. Physicality has been a big factor. The official there, you can not quite see on the left side of your screen, but there is a little conference going on there now, and that has wrapped up. And it looks like the message that Humber's representative is telling the team now was to settle down, boys, and make sure we finish this one without any shenanigans, anything extra.
And that is Seth Kirkham, always a calm voice on this Hawks team.
Good job there by the Hawks. And all kinds of players clashing together. The ball was dropped for a moment, but Kirkham able to get right back down on it.
And as the seconds tick down, you can see the difference in energies between these two teams. The Hawks look full of caffeine, about 3 minutes away from their first provincial gold medal in 10 years.
And it looks like that last drive by Prince Ndukwe, you know, not only was that kind of the icing on the cake of this gold medal game, but really just sort of packaged Humber's success in this season, you know, really distilled it down into a single play, which was offensive production. And a lot of guys have contributed, but obviously none more on this Humber squad, or none more in the whole province than number 12, Prince Ndukwe, the OCAA scoring champion. And a great individual effort there late in the game, and it seemed like that was the deflating score that may have put this one away. But Conestoga able to make another rush here, and looks like they might be able to find their first score of the half here. 33-7 with about 2 minutes of regulation on the clock. Will be highlighted already that win or lose here today. This would be Conestoga's best finish in OCAA men's rugby, previously only taking home a bronze. And a step forward for the program. They had gold aspirations, but ran into a tough Humber team that appears, though, as though they're going to finish this particular season undefeated, 7-0 if they can hang on here in the last minute and a half.
Yeah, certainly, Matt. Both of these teams have earned this berth in this game.
Oh, and that ball just not able to quite scoop it up. That looked like it was a no-brainer scoring opportunity there for the team in black, but just a tough pass to handle. But not over yet with the scoring chance for Conestoga. Mentioned it was a narrow 5-point victory the first time these two teams met. A little more separation this time, as Conestoga fans celebrating a late game score. Love to see that. You know, no quit, fight right to the end, but too little, too late appears to be the situation. It's a good kind of physical play.
Yeah, Conestoga just doing a good job of powering through that Humber defensive line that has been so strong all season, right? We talk about how comfortable they've been pressed up against their own try line, how comfortable they are forcing those turnovers, and in that situation, Conestoga just got the better of them.
Extra point. Looks good. 33-14.
You know, we mentioned the last meeting between these two teams was a 5-point swing in favor of Humber, their closest match of the season by far. And I think this is a statement victory from Humber here. I think a lot of us expected this game to be closer than it is right now, score-wise at least.
Yeah, but you know, it's always, the intensity is going to be dialed up all the way for a game like this. And after a good start in the first half and a good finish, Humber was up 3-1 after the first 40 minutes, and then also outscoring their opponent in the second half. That's a recipe for a gold medal on this particular Saturday. And, you know, 19, kind of the magic number. We'll see if it holds up, but Humber right now leading by 19. That was also the point differential in their semifinal victory. So a little bit of symmetry there, but that could be ruined if Humber wants to punch in another one late here.
Maybe not satisfied just yet. Oh, my.
Wow, what a mass of bodies coming together. Conestoga able to stand strong. And we'll have the potentially final scrum of this gold medal match.
That last rush was Joshua Dunbar, by the way, and as you can see, it took the entire Conestoga Condors team to take him down.
At a certain point, he looked like feet off the ground, just sort of elevated, so. And the greater push for Humber, able to really get it in deep.
Requires an impressive amount of momentum to be in the air and still moving forwards.
Conestoga on that wing. Great tackle made there. A couple of Hawks swarming. But it was on that wing for Humber. Excellent tackling play by Gospel. Another good tackle for Humber, as they can taste the gold medal victory now. Feels like we're seconds away.
According to our score bug, we have touched the 80th minute now, so playing in stoppage time or injury time.
This would be the first gold medal for Humber after a 10-year absence from finishing the season atop the OCAA. And a good play up the middle, and good way to tackle and slow things down. Ball pushed out onto that far wing. Tackle made there. Great work by Humber, not allowing any big plays late in the game. Conestoga still with it. Ball is loose. And the knock-on will slow the play down. There you have it, the Humber Hawks back atop the province of Ontario. Provincial gold after the perfect season. 7-0 when all is said and done. And our final score here, 33-14. And Rugby men's gold coming back to Humber.
And this couldn't be more well-deserved. They've been the best team in the province all season long. They were the better team all throughout this game. And the Humber Hawks are back atop of Ontario.
And the celebration is on for Humber. There you have it, 2024 OCAA Men's Rugby Champions. The last time this squad took home gold was 2014. And they are back atop the OCAA. And there's the thrill of victory right there, partner.
Yeah, this will also be their first year with consecutive OCAA medals since 2013-2014, with their silver medal last year and the gold happening right now.
Well, the opening score of the game, courtesy of Tamiko Smith, and that really set the tone. Some early offense. After the first half, Humber had a 12-point lead. 3 tries to the lone single try in that first half of Conestoga. But Humber tacked on 2 more in the second half, Will, alongside Conestoga with 1 more try. And that was all it took to give Humber that improvement, right? We talked about last year, the silver. So, yes, consecutive medals, but right where they wanted to be, right? And they avenged their gold medal loss in the semifinals. It was the Grizzlies, by way of Georgian College, that took Humber out and was able to get the best of Humber in last year's gold medal match. But here, after an undefeated regular season, Humber earning themselves the home field advantage, and they certainly cashed in on that, Will.
Yeah, did they ever? I mean, what an impressive defensive second half from Humber. We talked about how Conestoga was maybe the better team for a period in the middle of that first half. Humber had a really good end to the first half and came out strong in the second. But it was really the pushes that they stopped from Conestoga that was the difference maker here, holding Conestoga scoreless into the last 5 minutes of the game.
Here's a look at some of those replays. Score there from Tamiko Smith. And it was off the upright, that opening kick. So it was 5-0. Conestoga, you highlighted, Will, right at the top of when we got the second half going. It was in the middle of the first half was when Conestoga was at their greatest kind of high point in this match. But then Humber kept punching in the scores. 3 tries in the opening frame of the game. And a lot of the usual suspects for Humber getting it done. But this was really the story of the season in a nutshell. Will, this is the final score of this match. Who else but the baddest man in the OCAA, Prince Ndukwe, up the middle, using his skill. And that was all she wrote, partner.
And such an incredible combination of athleticism and size, right? Most men that size do not have hips that can move like that. When he's at his best, it almost looks like he's floating above the grass. And that's certainly what it looked like there, as the player who's been the catalyst for this team all season long, showing out with their last try of the season.
And a camera angle that sort of captures just how good the turnout was here at this OCAA gold medal match.
There was a good couple hundred people here to witness OCAA greatness.
And it was a great match. You know, we knew this Conestoga team coming in was a tough opponent and giving Humber their closest contest. And we thought, you know, it could be a repeat. And there was certainly a good portion of that first half where it looked like Conestoga was in the driver's seat, as they had the lead for a moment thanks to the missed convert on Humber's first try. It was at 1.75, but after that, Humber tacked on 4 unanswered tries.
That was just the 3rd time that they had led all season, by the way. Conestoga led Humber briefly in their first matchup, and then in the 43-22 win against Georgian, they were leading by a point for a very short period of time.
Humber's opponent, that is.
That is, yes.
So yeah, you know, and we talked about Humber just being a team who have not really found themselves down in the score in a lot of games, and just how important it was for Conestoga to put Humber in an unfamiliar position, because sometimes when you get to that championship game, you know, I've been a part of those teams where you have the undefeated season, and in the championship you face some real adversity. And if you're not familiar with how to operate when you're down, it can really put you in a tough spot. But Humber, despite an early 2-point deficit, really pulled together and put themselves back in that position that they feel most comfortable in, which is with a couple score lead. And there's a look at the provincial champions. We'll have the medal ceremony on the way in just a moment. That's why we're kind of hanging on and stretching for time, as you may have noticed.
And what impressive resiliency from this Hawks team, because you're right, they were in a position that they were certainly not as comfortable being in, or it was at least unfamiliar for them this season, but not backing down and finishing strong.
So Humber obviously jubilant over there in that huddle, and give credit to Coach Fabian Rain, assistant coach Daryl Snyder, and the other assistant coach on this Humber roster, Andre Rose Green, all a decade with this Humber coaching staff. And, you know, it's been that decade since Humber captured OCAA gold. And so right back atop the men's rugby mountain. And Will, if you're looking at man of the match, who do you think you'd give the edge to on that Humber side?
Well, you know, I think today really showcased that Humber has 3 or 4 players who have that individual talent and skill to kind of do things themselves. So I think we have to look a little bit at the body of work here, and Prince Ndukwe has been the face of this team, offensively at least, throughout this entire season. And he capped off this performance with a highlight reel drive that resulted in the dagger. So for me, Prince Ndukwe is my player of the game.
I'd have to concur with you on that one, partner. We now have the teams both getting ready to line up, as we'll have convener Josh Vatcher handing out some hardware alongside some other OCAA officials. Just a great Saturday for this OCAA contest. You look at the temperature, Will, you see it was about 6-7 degrees at game time when we got going here. But with the sun out, that was great. We'll turn it over to Dwayne Bowles for the announcements here, and we'll be right back after the medals to sign things off.
The player of the game for the Conestoga Condors is number 13, Hudson Young.
Sorry.
Oh my god, thank you. I know. I thought it was something. I was trying to figure out what that was. I don't know. I thought it was a raccoon.
Not Hudson.
The player of the game from the Humber Hawks, number 2, Harry It's now time for the Tournament All-Stars. The Tournament All-Stars will be presented by men's rugby convener Josh Vatcher and executive director of the OCAA, Kyle Pelly. First for the Conestoga Condors, number 13, Hudson Young. From the Conestoga Condors, number 5, Jeff Hoffman. Trinity. From the Humber Hawks, number 12, Prince Ndukwe. Your 2024 OCAA Men's Rugby Championship Most Valuable Player from the Humber Hawks, number 20, Congratulations to your 2024 Men's Rugby Silver Medalists, the Conestoga Condors.
Somebody shake their hands twice.
Chris Leota.
I know. Get the crazy solar flare in it. Or lens flare.
Jackson McDonald Inglis. Dylan Moore. Luke Murray. Shadrach O'Donnell. Tarek Apacha. Cooper Bogachnik. Jacob Proachney. Daniel Rudy. J.R. Samuels. Cameron Snook. Tyson Stifler. Matt Owen. Stephen Van Uren. And Hudson Young. Assistant coach Joe Newman. Assistant coach Steve Piniactic. Assistant coach Braden Stubel. And the head coach of the 2024 silver medalist, the Conestoga Condors, Joshua Van Hoort. And now, the 2024 gold medalists, the Humber Hawks. Jason Barbado. Evante Marron. Joshua Dunbar. Declan Forgy. Chandler Gamil Arnold. Stephen Gonano. Magera. Seth Bergum. Harry Lutumba. Case McFarland. Dave Mergilin. Alex Morden. Prince Inugwe. Gospel Ogana. UV Panache. Seth Pottery. Nick Rakobocha. James Rob Kennedy. Rohan Roy. Nick Sabine. George Senna Clem. Rayshawn Smalling. Tamiko Smith. Cahale Stewart. Isaac St. Louis. Kenyon Tyndale. Adrian Von Raj. Student therapist Isha Humber. Certified athletic therapist Kyle Paxson. Team manager Aiden Manning. Assistant coach Andre Rosegreen. Assistant coach Daryl Snyder. Head coach of the 2024 It's that time. The team captain for the new OCAA Men's Rugby Champions, your
There you have it. The Humber Hawks are back atop the OCAA Men's Rugby Hill. How sweet it is as the victorious Hawks beat a tough Conestoga team. The Condors have to settle for a program best silver medal here this afternoon, while the Humber Hawks are back in familiar. I mean, it's